Tonight, if you step outside and look up, you will see roughly the same handful of stars that your grandparents saw, and their grandparents before them. The night sky feels permanent, familiar. It is hung over every dinner table conversation, every long drive home, every quiet moment of your life. And because it has always been there, most of us stopped truly looking at it a long time ago. But here is a question worth sitting with for a moment. What exactly are you looking at? Not the poetry of it, the reality of it. When you gaze at a single point of light in the dark, you are seeing something that may have burned out before you were born, whose glow has been traveling toward your eye for longer than human civilization has existed. You are not looking at the present. You are looking directly into the deep past. That single idea has undone more than a few people. It quietly rearranges your sense of scale, of time, of your own place in things. And the strange truth is that the more astronomers have learned, the stranger the universe has become. Not simpler, not tamer, but wilder and more astonishing than anyone dared to imagine a century ago. In the next several minutes, we are going to walk together through 5 of the most staggering wonders that science has confirmed are actually out there. Not fantasy, not speculation dressed up as fact. Real objects, real forces, measured by real instruments and confirmed by the hard mathematics of physics. Each one is stranger than the last. I promise you this. By the time we reach the end, you will not look at that quiet night sky the same way again. So before we go any further, let me ask you to hold on to one thing, because everything we are about to explore begins with understanding why these particular 5 wonders matter to you, personally, more than you might expect. Let me be honest with you from the start. This is not an astronomy lecture. There will be no quiz, no diagrams you need to memorize, no jargon designed to make you feel small. What we are doing here is closer to a journey. A slow, deliberate walk outward from the ground beneath your feet to the very edge of what human beings are able to know. You have spent decades under the same sky. You have watched it during the best moments of your life and some of the hardest. That long, quiet relationship with the heavens is exactly why this matters. Because the wonders we are about to explore are not distant curiosities that belong only to scientists and observatories. They are woven into your own story in ways that are far more literal than poetic. The 5 wonders were chosen carefully. Each one reveals a different face of the universe. One shows you scale so vast it breaks the imagination. Another shows you where the ordinary rules of time and space simply stop working. Another reveals that you are standing inside something enormous, moving at a speed you cannot feel. And 2 of them, near the end, will bring the entire cosmos back down to the palm of your hand. Along the way, we will lean on real science, on confirmed measurements, on the theories of physicists whose names you may recognize, on evidence gathered by telescopes that cost billions and took decades to build. Everything here rests on solid ground. The wonder is not an exaggeration. The wonder is in what is genuinely, measurably true. So here is where we begin our climb. We start with something enormous, a single star so impossibly large that it forces us to rethink what the word star even means. Once you see its true size, everything that follows will land differently. Let us take that first step now. Picture our sun for a moment. It is the anchor of everything we know. It holds 8 planets in orbit. It powers every living thing on Earth. And it is so large that more than 1 million Earths could fit inside it. To us, the sun is the very definition of vast, and it is. But on the scale of the cosmos, our sun is a modest, middle-sized star. Now travel with me about 9,500 light-years toward the constellation Scutum, to a star that astronomers call UY Scuti. It is a red supergiant, and its radius is estimated to be well over 1,000 times that of our sun. The numbers are so large they stop meaning anything, so let me put it in terms you can feel. If you replaced our sun with UY Scuti and placed it at the center of our solar system, its surface would swallow Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and reach out past the orbit of Jupiter. Everything we call home would simply be inside the star. To fill the volume of a single supergiant like this, you would need billions upon billions of stars the size of our own. And here is what makes it more than a number. Stars this enormous burn through their fuel at a furious rate. They live fast and die young, cosmically speaking, a few million years instead of billions. UY Scuti is already near the end of its life, unstable and shedding its outer layers, a giant in its final chapter. What we see is a countdown already in progress. Hold that image in your mind, a star so large our entire world would vanish inside it, and yet already dying. Because a dying giant does something extraordinary when its time finally comes. But before we witness that, I want you to imagine standing on Earth if a star like this ever took our sun's place. What would that actually be like? Let us step into that scene. Close your eyes for just a second and imagine the morning. Not a strange alien morning, your morning. The one you know. Coffee cooling on the counter, light coming through the window, the ordinary start to an ordinary day. Now imagine that the small, familiar sun you have known your whole life has been quietly replaced by a supergiant. There would be no more horizon in the way you understand it. The star would not rise as a bright disk in the corner of the sky. It would fill the sky. From edge to edge, a wall of dull red light, so close that the very ground you stand on would already be inside its outer atmosphere. There would be no shadows, no cool of the evening, no gentle dawn. Only an endless, smoldering glow. Of course, none of us would be here to witness it, because the Earth itself would no longer exist. It is a thought experiment, not a forecast. But there is a reason to imagine it so vividly. It is only by placing these objects next to the small, human world we actually live in that their scale becomes real rather than abstract. This is the quiet trick your mind must learn to play in order to understand the cosmos. Numbers alone will not do it. 1,000 times the radius of the sun means nothing until you picture your own kitchen swallowed by fire. Scale has to be felt, not just read. And once you can feel it, the universe stops being a chart and becomes a place. So let us hold on to that new ability, the power to feel scale, because we are going to need it. Because the next wonder is not about size at all. It is about something far harder to picture. It is a place where the rules we just used to imagine that supergiant begin to break down entirely. A place where time itself refuses to behave. Everything we have explored so far, however enormous, still obeys the ordinary rules. A supergiant is unimaginably large, but it is still a ball of hot gas. It has a surface, a size, a place. Now we leave that comfort behind. Because the second wonder is not a bigger version of something familiar. It is a tear in the fabric of reality as we understand it. A black hole forms when a massive star collapses so completely that its matter is crushed into a point of essentially infinite density. The gravity becomes so extreme that nothing, not a spaceship, not a signal, not even light itself, can escape once it crosses a certain boundary. That boundary has a name. Astronomers call it the event horizon, and it is a genuine point of no return. But the truly staggering part is what this gravity does to time. Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity, published in 1915 and confirmed again and again in the century since, tells us that gravity does not just pull on objects, it stretches time. Near an object as dense as a black hole, time itself slows down relative to the rest of the universe. This is not science fiction, it is measured, proven physics. This means that if you could watch a clock fall toward a black hole, you would see it tick slower and slower, the closer it got to the edge, until it seemed to freeze forever at the horizon. Time, the one thing we all believe is steady and unstoppable, turns out to be something the universe can bend and stretch like a physical thing. In 2019, humanity did something once thought impossible. Scientists released the first actual image of a black hole's shadow in a distant galaxy called M87. We are no longer only imagining these objects, we have seen one. And that raises a haunting question. What would happen to a traveler who dared to journey toward that edge? Let me tell you what the physics says. Imagine a lone traveler in a small craft, drifting toward a black hole. She is far away at first, safe, watching the darkness ahead. From her point of view, everything feels normal. Her clock ticks as it always has. Her breathing is steady. She has no sense that anything strange is happening to her at all. But back home, her family is watching through a powerful telescope, and to them, something eerie unfolds. As she approaches the event horizon, they see her clock slowing down. Her movements become sluggish, then slower still. The light from her craft stretches and dims, sliding toward deep red. To the people who love her, she appears to freeze at the edge, hanging there, almost motionless, for what could be an eternity. She never feels this. From inside her craft, she crosses the horizon in an ordinary instant. Two truths, both real, both correct, and utterly irreconcilable to our everyday intuition. This is not a paradox invented by storytellers. It is a direct consequence of the equations that govern our universe, tested and retested for over 100 years. There is something deeply human in this image. The traveler moving forward, feeling nothing unusual, while those watching from a distance experience her passage completely differently. Time, it turns out, is not one shared river we all float down together. It is personal. It depends on where you stand and how much gravity surrounds you. Let that settle for a moment, because it changes something fundamental about how you understand your own existence. We tend to think we all live in the same now. Physics quietly tells us otherwise. And if a single collapsed star can bend time this severely, imagine what happens when you zoom out, far out, to see the vast spinning structure that holds billions of stars and quietly carries you along with them. Until now, we have looked outward at single objects. One giant star, one black hole. But there is a wonder you cannot look at from the outside, because you are already inside it. Right now, as you sit reading this, you are part of an immense, slowly turning structure that stretches beyond anything the human mind was built to grasp. We call it the Milky Way. Our galaxy is a spiral of somewhere between 100 billion and 400 billion stars, bound together by gravity into a vast rotating disk. If you have ever seen that faint milky band of light arching across a truly dark sky, far from city lights, you have looked edgewise into the body of your own galaxy. That soft glow is the combined light of countless suns. Here is a fact that stops most people cold. Our entire solar system, the Sun, the Earth, all of us, is orbiting the center of the Milky Way at roughly 500,000 miles per hour. You feel perfectly still. You always have. And yet you are hurtling through space faster than any machine humanity has ever built, on a single loop that takes about 230 million years to complete. The last time our solar system was in this same position on its orbit, dinosaurs had not yet walked the Earth. We have not completed one full galactic year since the age of the great reptiles began. That is the true clock of the cosmos, and against it, an entire human lifetime is less than the blink of an eye. And here is the thought I want to leave you with before we move on. You are not a spectator watching the galaxy from the outside. You are a passenger on it, moving with it, carried along a journey older than life itself. But even inside this enormous river of stars, the distances between us and everything beyond are so vast that they carry a strange kind of loneliness. Let me show you what I mean. The nearest large galaxy to our own is called Andromeda. On a clear, dark night in the right season, you can actually see it with your unaided eye. A faint smudge of light in the darkness. It looks small, almost insignificant. And yet that faint smudge is an entire galaxy, home to perhaps 1 trillion stars. Now consider how far away it is. The light entering your eye from Andromeda tonight left that galaxy about 2.5 million years ago, when our earliest human ancestors were just beginning to walk upright on the plains of Africa. You are not seeing Andromeda as it is. You are seeing a photograph, 2.5 million years old, delivered to your eye at this exact moment. This is the quiet ache at the heart of astronomy. The universe is filled with wonders, and almost all of them are impossibly far away. There may be countless worlds out there, perhaps even others looking back toward us. But the distances are so immense that we will almost certainly never reach them, never speak to them, never know them. They are neighbors in name only. And yet there is something else in that thought if you turn it over gently. We are not entirely alone in the way that isolation usually means. We share a common origin with everything out there, the same physics, the same elements, the same ancient beginnings. The distance separates us, but the deeper story binds us together. That deeper story is where we turn next, and it is where this journey stops being about faraway things and starts becoming about you. Because one of these cosmic events, violent and distant, is the direct reason you are able to sit here, breathe, and think at all. It is time to meet the explosion that made you possible. When the universe was young, it was a remarkably simple place. In the beginning, there was mostly hydrogen and helium, the two lightest, simplest elements. There was no carbon to build living cells, no oxygen to breathe, no iron for blood, no calcium for bone. The raw materials of life, quite simply, did not yet exist. So where did they come from? The answer is one of the most profound discoveries in all of science. Heavier elements are forged inside the hearts of massive stars under crushing pressure and unimaginable heat over millions of years. But those elements stay locked away inside the star until the star dies. And when a truly massive star dies, it does not fade quietly. It detonates in a titanic explosion called a supernova. In that single brilliant flash, brighter for a moment than an entire galaxy, the star hurls its newly forged elements out into space. The carbon, the oxygen, the iron, the calcium, all of it is scattered across the cosmos, seeding vast clouds of gas and dust. Those clouds eventually collapse to form new stars, new planets, and on at least one small world, new life. This is not a metaphor, and it is not a comforting story invented to make us feel connected. It is measured chemistry and confirmed astrophysics. The atoms that make up your body were manufactured inside stars that lived and died long before our sun was ever born. You are, quite literally, assembled from the remains of ancient stars. Sit with that for a moment, because it changes the meaning of everything we have looked at so far. The cosmos is not out there, separate from you, it is in you. And once you understand that, the final piece falls into place. The realization that the stardust of the entire universe is resting right now in your own two hands. Look down at your hands for a moment. Really look at them. The lines on your palms, the veins beneath the skin, the warmth of them. These are the most ordinary things in the world to you. You have had them your whole life. And yet every single atom in them has a history older than the earth, older than the sun, stretching back to the death of stars you will never see. The iron carried in your blood right now was forged in the core of a dying star and flung across space in a supernova. The calcium holding your bones together was made the same way. The oxygen you just breathed in, the carbon that forms the very structure of who you are, all of it was cooked inside ancient stars and scattered by their deaths so that, billions of years later, it could become you. This is what the astronomer Carl Sagan meant with his famous phrase, that we are made of star stuff. It was never poetry. It was a plain statement of scientific fact, delivered gently. You are not separate from the cosmos, gazing at it from a safe distance. You are a piece of it that has become aware of itself, looking back at where it came from. There is a strange comfort in this, especially as the years accumulate and we begin to think more about time, about what lasts and what passes. Nothing in you is truly new, and nothing in you will truly end. The atoms that make you were here long before you, and they will continue on long after, folded back into the great cycle of the universe. So when you feel small under that night sky, and it is natural to feel small, remember that you are also unimaginably ancient and unimaginably connected. You are the universe, briefly gathered into a person, able to wonder about itself. And that brings us to the final wonder, the largest of all, the edge of everything we are able to know. We have traveled a long way together, from a single dying giant to a tear in time, to the spinning galaxy that carries us, to the ancient stars whose ashes became our bodies. Now we come to the last and greatest wonder of all, not an object, but a boundary, the edge of the observable universe. Because light travels at a fixed speed, and because the universe is a finite age, about 13.8 billion years old, there is a limit to how far we can possibly see. Beyond a certain distance, the light from more distant regions has simply not had enough time to reach us since the universe began. That limit forms a vast sphere around us, and we call it the observable universe. Within that sphere, astronomers estimate there are around 2 trillion galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars. The numbers climb so high, they lose all ordinary meaning. And yet here is the humbling part. That staggering ocean of galaxies is only the part we can see. What lies beyond the edge, we cannot observe, and perhaps never will. The universe may be vastly larger than the portion visible to us, possibly infinite. Think about what that truly means. For all our telescopes, all our brilliant equations, all the centuries of patient human effort, we can only ever glimpse a fraction of what exists. There is a horizon to human knowledge itself, built into the very structure of reality. Beyond it lies a mystery we may be permanently unable to solve. And rather than making our knowledge feel small, this should make our curiosity feel sacred. To live in such a universe, and to be the kind of creature that even asks these questions, is itself a wonder. Which leaves just one thing left to consider before we part. Not what the cosmos is, but what it quietly asks of each of us now. At the very beginning, I asked you a simple question. What exactly are you looking at when you gaze up at the night sky? We have spent this time together answering it, and the answer turned out to be far larger and far closer than anyone might have guessed. You are looking at your own origin, your own family, written across the dark and light. The stars are no longer only distant points above you. They are the furnaces that made your bones. The galaxy is no longer a picture in a book. It is the river you are riding through space at this very moment. Time itself is no longer a steady, simple thing, but something that bends and stretches out there in the deep. The universe has become personal. So what does the cosmos ask of us, now that we can see it a little more clearly? Nothing complicated, only that we keep looking up, that we hold on to our sense of wonder as the years pass, instead of letting it fade into the background like the sky we stop noticing. That we remember, on the ordinary days, how extraordinary it is to be here at all. Tonight, when it grows dark, I hope you will step outside and look up one more time, and truly see it. Not as scenery, as home, as family, as the vast, ancient, astonishing thing you are a living part of. That quiet act of looking is the whole point, and it is yours to keep. And if this journey moved you, or taught you something, or simply reminded you of how wondrous the universe truly is, I would be grateful if you would take a moment to subscribe to the channel, so we can keep exploring these wonders together. Please give this video a like. It genuinely helps more people discover it. And I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Tell me which of these 5 wonders astonished you the most, and what you would like us to explore next. Until then, keep looking up.